The performative nature of those who are oh so perturbed seeing a fully grown woman dance promiscuously around on stage to her sensual lyrics is rather reminiscent of a time when people thought that a Marilyn Manson or an Eminem was the devil reincarnated. Oh no, guys! The kids! What about the kids? It's 2024. Every second scroll over on Instagram, you're gonna see somebody promoting their OF. And no, I'm not talking about Odd Future. It's every other day you're opening the replies to a beautiful cake recipe just to see somebody's drippy wet beef curtains alongside with many a buttholes. How about I go even further and say literal celebrities, influencers, and people in power of actual countries being really weird towards children, but oh no, Sabrina doing what every other female pop star has done historically? Absolutely not. She's a sicko. She's weird. I'm 17 and afraid of Sabrina Carpenter. I cannot be the only person that finds her doing this in front of an audience full of children inappropriate. ... Children across the board have access to a wide range of corn websites completely unrestricted, just by the way. And personally, I think that's way more inappropriate than a pop star whose entire brand is centered around being horny. If little Emily's mum heard Hold Me and Explore Me, I'm so horny, and still went ahead to take her child to the concert, that has absolutely nothing to do with Sabrina, I'm sorry. Now, would it be inappropriate for Sabrina Carpenter to just walk up into a preschool, drop down style, spread her legs wide open, showing all of her glory holes? I mean, yeah, quite obviously, let's put on our thinking caps. She's not in a preschool, she's not in a school, she is in a stadium performing music. Now, people may be mad at me for saying this, but if there happens to be kids in the crowd, that is not up to Sabrina to cater towards them. And it's quite literally not her responsibility whatsoever. I'm not sure why we're just voiding these parents of responsibility when it's like, you can think it's inappropriate, sure, but it's on the literal parents for taking their kids there. You wouldn't go into a strip club and be like, oh my god, why are they doing this in front of kids? Because they're strippers, babe. Why are the kids there? But notice how these people won't ever be caught saying the same thing about a male performer who's grabbing his junk on stage, humping a female dancer, quite literally getting freaky with a microphone, but oh no. It's an issue because it's a woman we're talking about. Oh, but drama queen, not everything is about genders, babe. The poster of this tweet, and I'll actually bite the bait admittedly, says she's a Disney star acting like this, it's sick. Remember when they said that about Miley? Remember when they said that about Demi Lovato? Remember when they said that about Selena Gomez? All because they were growing up and their music was growing up with them too. Even most recently, it was controversial of JoJo Siwa to be on stage doing what she was doing throughout the year because she used to have a children's channel. Look at me in my half-blind ass face and try to tell me that JoJo was going to be selling bows forever. But you never hear anything about male ex-Disney stars because they kind of already have that added privilege where it's like people kind of just expect them to be grabbing their junk and to be super whenever they're performing. But for some reason, a woman has to uphold this shtick just to cater to the kids. I'm sorry, but fuck them kids. I don't care about the kids. Okay, no, that isn't how I really feel. But it's just kind of exhausting opening up Twitter and people being like, she's doing this in front of kids. It's sick. She's doing things in front of a child audience. How could she? How dare she? I guess I am 31 years old and afraid of Sabrina Carpenter because I genuinely find it unsettling when she pantomimes a position in that one song in her concert. Am I a prude or is it cringe? It's unsettling and it's cringe to you because you feel uncomfortable, and that is okay. That is quite valid, honestly. Like, I'm not going to take away the fact that people are probably feeling a little bit uncomfortable by what Sabrina is doing on stage, but you don't have to watch. You don't have to purchase tickets to go and see her. So what's the big deal here? This doesn't even mean what she's doing is necessarily cringe and unsettling. And I'm sorry, I'll go even as far as to say that she's not responsible for how you feel about her performances. If you feel uncomfortable, simply look away, close your eyes. I mean, what happened to the lost art of just going, oh, I don't like that. Oh, no. How are you older than Sabrina, but are acting like a middle schooler who has just found out what the banging on in their parents' bedroom is every single other night? Like, yeah, whatever, gross, but you'll live. Now, for me personally speaking, I find the gimmicks to be quite tired and boring at this point. Like, it's not that I see it in a negative way or that I hate it or I'm like, oh my god, what a whore. I just don't really think too much of these kinds of performances because it doesn't concern me. Because when this kind of stuff happens, it does its rounds of, OMG, she's literally a Disney star and now is 25 and singing about getting her holes cleaned. No freaking way, Sarah. It just gives off performative moral outrage. Like, do we not remember Madonna? Do we not remember Britney? Janet Jackson? Have we forgot about what Janet did on stage? Like, love her. But that's what I'm saying. There is no reason to be this upset over what Sabrina Carpenter is doing on stage. Please. Never tell these people about what happens at a black metal show. I'm sorry, but am I the only one offended? Like, why is she being disgusting in front of children? Can we please come up with a better way to criticize somebody rather than saying, oh my god, but what about the kids? But what about the kids? Like, it would be an entirely different conversation if we were sat here today talking about how Miss Rachel just popped her legs wide open and Coco Melon decided that they would upload a video of literal melons, like actual big juicy ones. Sabrina clearly has an image she's portraying, and if parents are still, even after seeing all the positions she's doing on stage, taking their kids to a concert like that, that is on the parents alone. It's not up to Sabrina to be like, there is an 8-year-old in the audience, there's a 12-year-old in the audience, maybe I should make this PG. That is not how the world works. Sabrina is not the parent to any of these children. And if they happen to be in the crowd, oh well, if the parents are okay enough with that, then what the is this fake moral outrage for? You guys are disgusting and weird for defending a literal weirdo. I'm 17 and afraid of Sabrina Carpenter when she's performing. You guys need help. I love how being a weirdo is equated to being a literal bad person doing bad things to minors. Now, there was a TikTok posted not too long ago of Sabrina Carpenter supposedly choosing a 12-year-old out in the audience to come up on stage for the under arrest for being hot part. Speaking as a certified blindie, I would probably not be able to make out the ages of people in a crowd full of an audience of like almost 20,000 people.
Can you tell everybody your name? Penny! Penny! And then next to you is Amaray. Which is so crazy. Now it's Amaray and Penny that I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to both of you. Amaray looks just like my opener. That's so weird. And Penny looks just like the only Penny I've literally ever met in my life. This was so weird. It's like double trouble, and now my clothes are falling off because I'm really overwhelmed by my feelings for both of you. Do you mind if you guys can handcuff yourselves together?
And Sabrina did acknowledge that those are two minors in the audience. I think it is a little bit strange to continue giving them handcuffs, so I think that is a part that I would personally criticize her for. Why did you do that? Do not give fuzzy handcuffs to minors. But again, that's not the kind of critiques that I'm seeing on social media. As long as Sabrina isn't on stage asking kids in the audience sexual questions, I personally don't see really anything wrong with her performing this way. It would be a lot different if it was a concert at school. It would be a lot different if she was exclusively doing this for minors, but she isn't. And the way it's being portrayed at the moment disturbs me because there are actual celebrities, actual influencers, actual world leaders who are doing abhorrent things to children, and it flies under the radar because this kind of shit gets viral. This kind of shit gets the popularity and not that other stuff. Considering, how are you saying this when every single other day you're opening your Twitter timeline, somebody has their legs spread wide open? But that's okay, that's fine. Because the person who's promoting their OF, by the way, in front of children, they don't get the same type of backlash that Sabrina, a pop star, does. And she isn't even getting naked on stage. That's the funny bit. But there's actually quite an interesting point of view that is being presented that is kind of being dismissed as, oh, well, Sabrina is just having fun on stage. Sorry to be the friend that's too woke, but this is so degrading to women. And I hate that this is the box female artists are largely confined to. Look, there's something to be said about female pop stars feeling as though they have to resort to a more hypersexual self in order to sell tickets to their shows. I would argue that it would be a lot more degrading had Sabrina not been reaping the rewards of what she is doing, such as being forced against her will to get up on stage and do the dances that she's doing the performances that she's doing, not receiving any benefits from that, and purely being exploited for the label's gain. Now, it may sound so far that I am mostly in defense of Sabrina Carpenter, bar that one sussy thing that she did by giving the fuzzy handcuffs to those minors, but I'm not even a fan. I don't even listen to that kind of music anyways. I'm just only trying to sit here and offer a perspective to people that isn't really being listened to. I'm not trying to change any of your minds either. But seriously, this entire situation is just getting too much out of hand. If Sabrina didn't want to do what she's been doing on stage, she wouldn't. That is where the degrading issue comes in. It would be by definition degrading if she was up there on stage, not being paid at all for what she's doing, not being allowed any freedom, not having a choice to do what she's doing. But the funny bit is, she does. All of this is pretty much her own idea. Sometimes people just want money and attention, and it isn't this whole think piece situation where Sabrina is contributing to women being objectified. Maybe the real problem with that conversation is men objectifying women. Why can't a woman just be a woman, own her womanhood? Why is it that men are able to do that and own their manhood, which I support, everybody embracing their sexualities, but it seems to be more of an issue when a woman does it because she's contributing to this and she's contributing to that stigma. At the end of the day, it is not okay to be like, well, this behavior empowers women, but this one actually doesn't. No, it has to be all or nothing. It can't be empowering for women to do this, but a woman to do that. No, you're a bad woman. And look, I partially agree that I don't fully agree with the fact that it is liberating for women to objectify themselves for male attention, but I am also not going to tell somebody who has full autonomy over their body what to do with it. That's why I say this is just performative moral outrage. I mean, she's a pop star who's probably made a lot of young women be comfortable in their sexualities because a woman's sexuality still isn't being taken seriously. She's either a slut because she has a high body count, or she's really strange because she has no body count. How about we let grown-ups make their own consensual decisions? Great example for her young fans. We're still on this? I was listening to people like Tyler, the Creator, and Cannibal Corpse at 13, and those artists are surely not friendly for young people to be listening to, but nobody ever says anything about that. What we should not be doing is telling a woman what she can and can't do and try to have a say over her body to push a personal agenda. Everybody loves to hop on the bandwagon of my body, my choice, but when it actually comes down to it and a woman is choosing to do a certain thing with her body, it's, oh, she's contributing to this negative stigma that women have. She should be caring more about her young fans. She's making me uncomfortable. look away then. And to end the video off here, because honestly, I don't really have anything more to add to this conversation. It frustrates me because historically there have been more raunchy, more explicit, more insane performances done by artists of any gender, but yet we're so surprised in 2024 that a 25-year-old pop star is singing about wanting some underpants glory and doing a performance surrounding that. It's almost like she's a free woman of choice choosing to do what she wants with her body, and if that's what she wants to do, then I support that. You don't have to love it. Hell, you don't even have to support what Sabrina is doing. But this narrative that is being built around Sabrina Carpenter, even by our fellow women, is honestly quite disappointing to say the very least. Now, with all that being said, tell me what you think in the comments section below. You probably entirely disagree with me. Let me know. Thank you everybody for your stay at Yappersville today. I really appreciate your residency. Take care of yourselves and most of all, love your fucking selves.